On the 29th of May, Sakuta Azusagawa wakes up from a hazy dream and discovers a journal. The journal recounts his encounter with a senior from school wearing a bunny girl costume in the public library on the 6th of May. Strangely, the senior's name is missing from the journal. That day, Mai Sakurajima, a teenage celebrity, visited the Fujisawa library dressed provocatively as a bunny girl to test if people could still see her. Only Sakuta noticed her presence, but she urged him to forget about her once he left. While on a break from her acting career, Mai joined school in the middle of the year after social circles have already formed, and no one befriends her. Her existence is largely ignored. However, she has recently discovered that besides school, there are other areas where people are unable to acknowledge her existence. These areas are expanding and causing inconvenience. Sakuta, believing that Mai is experiencing the adolescence syndrome that once affected his sister, attempts to help her understand what is happening and prevent her from completely fading from people's memories. Ryo Futaba provides an explanation of adolescence syndrome using quantum mechanics and the Schrödinger's cat paradox. Meanwhile, Sakuta continues his conversation with Mai regarding her situation. He discloses that he learned about Mai's conflict with her manager, who also happens to be her mother, from reporter Fumika Nanjo. In order to obtain this information, Sakuta had to share a photo of his unusual chest scars. Upon learning this, Mai promptly contacts Fumika and requests her not to publish the photo. In exchange, Mai offers Fumika an exclusive interview about her decision to return to the entertainment industry, but on the condition that the interview excludes any involvement from her mother. Subsequently, Mai agrees to spend a day with Sakuta, though she denies it being an actual date. Before their day together begins, Sakuta becomes entangled in a misunderstanding with first-year student Tomoe Koga over a lost child in a park. This incident leads to a comical exchange where they playfully kick each other's buttocks, causing a delay in Sakuta's meeting with Mai. Eventually, when they finally go out together, Mai arranges a meeting with her mother to inform her about her decision. However, to Mai's astonishment, she discovers that even her own mother cannot see or remember her. In a desperate attempt to test if anyone still remembers Mai, Sakuta decides to take her to a distant city, but unfortunately, their endeavor proves futile. During the night, they opt to rest in the same hotel room. While Mai is taking a bath, Sakuta contacts Yume and Ryo and learns that they still remember Mai. Sakuta and Mai end up sleeping on the same bed and engage in a discussion about the possibility of Sakuta eventually forgetting her as well. Mai suggests kissing as previously shown in the beginning of episode 1, but Sakuta chooses not to. The following morning, Sakuta discloses that he was unable to sleep beside Mai. Upon arriving at school, he makes a disheartening discovery: his peers, including Yume and Tomoe, the girl he had encountered prior to their date, have completely forgotten about Mai due to their slumber. Ryo suggests that the school's ambience and the act of sleeping have caused the students to no longer acknowledge Mai's existence. Similar to Schrödinger's cat, her presence remains unconfirmed by those who refuse to recognize her. In light of this, Sakuta makes a determined effort to stay awake as midterm exams draw near. However, as days pass without him sleeping, he begins to lose control. Despite this, he persists by repeatedly poking himself with a pencil and consuming energy drinks to remain awake. On the third day of sleeplessness, while studying with Mai, she persuades him to take sleeping pills and tearfully bids him farewell, expressing gratitude for his sincere attempts to remember her as he drifts off into slumber. As the last day of exams arrives, Sakuta has completely forgotten about Mai. However, his memories of her suddenly resurface when he notices a kanji they had studied together on his exam paper, prompting him to rush out of his classroom. Memories of their time together over the past weeks come rushing back, and he realizes that he is deeply in love with her. Standing before the school, he bravely confesses his feelings, defying the syndrome. In response, Mai reappears before him and scolds him for his decision. As she becomes recognizable to her classmates once again, Mai boldly reveals the truth about Sakuta's syndrome. On June 27, Sakuta goes about his day, having lunch with Mai, who reciprocates his feelings, and witnessing Tomoe being asked out by Maizawa from the basketball club. However, he soon realizes that June 27 is repeating, trapping him in a time loop, which Ryo attributes to Laplace's demon phenomenon. To break free from the loop, Ryo suggests that Sakuta should identify anyone whose behavior differs from the repeated day, leading him to Tomoe. While hiding together in a desk, Tomoe reveals that her best friend has feelings for Maezawa, explaining her hesitance to accept his confession and the reason she's avoiding him. By accident, Sakuta and Tomoe end up falling on top of each other, provoking anger from Maezawa and Mai when they witness the situation. Believing that he will experience another June 27th, Sakuta wakes up only to realize that it is now June 28th and he must mend his relationship with Mai. Later, Tomoe proposes the idea of Sakuta and her pretending to be in a relationship until the start of summer break. Sakuta agrees after witnessing Tomoe's distress at the thought of losing her friends and reflecting on how his sister Kade felt in a similar situation. In a surprising turn of events, Mai shows up at Sakuta's apartment that night, questioning why he hadn't come to explain the situation involving Tomoe. Currently engaged in a pseudo-dating scenario with Sakuta, he is surprised when he discovers that Tomoe is working as a waitress in the same restaurant as him. While they are both at work, Sakuta approaches Yume and inquires about Maezawa's character, wanting to determine if he should feel guilty about the situation. To Sakuta's relief, Yume reveals that Maezawa attempted to pursue a relationship with Tomoe despite already having a girlfriend, and has spoken negatively about his past partners. This information alleviates Sakuta's concerns. As rumors spread about Tomoe's supposed promiscuity, fueled by Maezawa, her reputation begins to suffer. Despite the gossip, Sakuta and Tomoe continue to go on dates, gradually growing closer to each other. One day, at the train station after school, Maezawa tracks them down and taunts them, provoking Sakuta into a confrontation. However, Sakuta ultimately humiliates Maezawa in front of everyone and dispels the rumors by openly admitting that he is a virgin. After leaving the scene, Tomoe expresses her gratitude to Sakuta for standing up for her. Sakuta assures Tomoe that they will maintain their friendship even after their relationship ends, and Tomoe promises to do her best to become his best friend. On July 18th, the day prior to summer break, Sakuta and Tomoe decide to end their romantic relationship after enjoying a beach date. However, Sakuta finds himself trapped in another time loop, repeating July 18th multiple times. Unlike the initial loop, Tomoe is unaware of the recurring cycle. After a conversation with Ryo, Sakuta realizes that Tomoe has been deceitful about her true emotions, which explains the repetition of July 18th. In his fourth iteration of the day, Sakuta takes Tomoe to Enoshima instead and confronts her about her behavior. Tomoe confesses that she has developed genuine feelings for him, but Sakuta respectfully declines her advances. The following day, the cycle rewinds to June 27th, repeating the events of episode 4. However, this time, Mai surprises Sakuta by kissing him on the cheek during lunch. While heading home, Sakuta and Mai encounter a middle schooler named Shoko Makanahara, who is shielding an abandoned cat from the rain. Interestingly, this Shoko shares the same name as a girl Sakuta had fallen in love with during his younger years. However, what makes it peculiar is that the Shoko he met previously was older than this girl, as she was in high school while Sakuta was in middle school. Shoko regularly visits Sakuta's house to care for the stray kitten she found, as Sakuta agreed to temporarily take care of it. While at the library, Sakuta discusses Shoko with Ryo, who he notices is wearing her hair up and without her glasses. Later, when Sakuta and Mai see Ryo entering an internet cafe, Sakuta tries to call her but gets a response from Ryo in the library without a phone. Realizing there are two concurrent Ryos, they confront her and she admits to their coexistence. The Ryo from the library accompanies them to Sakuta's apartment, where she suggests that the duplication is a result of two personalities using quantum teleportation. The other Ryo agrees and claims to know the reason behind it. In a conversation with Saki, Sakuta discovers that Ryo has been sharing provocative photos of herself on social media. Ryo reveals that she has been struggling with her body image, with one part of her enjoying the attention while the other part dislikes being objectified. This conflict leads to the creation of her clone. While at the train station with Sakuta, they realize that the other Ryo was the one posting the images online. Suddenly, Ryo receives a threatening message from an unknown person attempting to blackmail her, prompting her to ask Sakuta to accompany her home. That evening, Sakuta manages to convince Yume to join them, and the three of them have fun playing with fireworks on the beach before making plans to attend the fireworks festival. The following day, the Ryo staying at Sakuta's house disappears, forcing him to search for her in the rain. He eventually finds her at school but collapses due to a cold. In the hospital, the cloned Ryo confronts Sakuta about a picture they took together on the beach with the other Ryo and Yume. She expresses her desire to cease existing since the other Ryo seems to have a better life. However, Sakuta reassures Ryo about embracing her true self. Later, she calls her other self and agrees to go to the festival, thus bringing them back together as one. The school term has started, but Sakuta, who is prohibited from publicly dating Mai due to her agency's rules, cannot locate her. However, he eventually spots her on the street and realizes that she has switched bodies with Nodoka Toyohama, an idol and Mei's younger half-sister. They decide to adapt to their situation by taking on each other's roles and responsibilities. As they navigate their new lives, Sakuta discovers that the siblings hold grudges against each other because of the expectations placed upon them by their parents. Nodoka, in particular, resents living in her older sister's shadow. During a video shoot, Nodoka collapses while attempting a routine act that Mai typically handles with ease, proving too overwhelming for her. Later, Mai entrusts Sakuta with the key to her house and instructs him not to open a specific cabinet. As they spend time at Mei's house, Sakuta compliments Nodoka's efforts, and while she is taking a bath, he approaches the cabinet. Inside Mei's cabinet, Sakuta discovers an aluminum box. Upon returning home, he is greeted by Kate in her school uniform, and Mai presents him with tickets to Nodoka's upcoming idol group concert. While Mai excels in the performance, Nodoka becomes upset when she witnesses her own mother praising Mai, something she feels has never happened for her. During a beach outing, Nodoka tries to run into the sea and drown herself, but Sakuta intervenes and assures her that Mai truly loves her. Upon returning home, Nodoka demands an explanation, so Sakuta gives her the box he found in Mei's cabinet. The box contains letters that Nodoka had written to Mai when they were younger. Mai explains that she read and kept these letters to motivate herself during stressful times. Mai also reveals that Nodoka's mother has been concerned about her happiness as she tries to meet certain expectations, encouraging her to pursue her own goals instead. As they embrace, both Nodoka and Mai revert to their original bodies. Ryo suggests that this phenomenon could be a form of quantum teleportation, possibly influenced by Nodoka's desire to be like her older sister and Mei's potential jealousy. In an after-credits scene, Nodoka moves in with Mai following an argument with her mother, and Mei's relationship with Sakuta becomes public. During a press conference, Mai discusses Sakuta's significant role in her life and how he influenced her decision to resume her acting career. However, she also emphasizes the importance of respecting his privacy. Inspired by this, Kei decides to create a list of goals she aims to achieve by the year's end, such as answering the phone, going outside, and attending school. With Sakuta's assistance, Kei starts making progress towards each goal, with Mai supporting her in answering the phone. Growing more confident, Kei takes a step outside their apartment with Sakuta's help. As time goes by, they successfully venture to the park and later to the beach. While at the beach, Kei encounters Katomi Kano, a childhood friend, but she has no recollection of her. Sakuta reveals that Kei has lost her memories of her past. Sakuta informs Mai and Nodoka about Kei's condition, explaining that due to cyberbullying, she developed dissociative amnesia. The impact on Kei was severe enough to cause their mother to suffer a mental breakdown, unable to accept what had happened to her daughter. In the process, Sakuta received the scars on his chest. While reading a note left by Katomi in a borrowed book, Kei collapses as fragments of her past memories slowly resurface, posing the risk of overshadowing her current life. Attempting to accompany Kei to her school, the traumatic memories resurface when she sees other students. Instead, Sakuta takes her to the zoo to uplift her spirits, gifting her a year-round pass for the panda exhibit. During the night, Sakuta tricks Kei into believing they are taking a shortcut home, but guides her to the school instead. Finding solace in the empty surroundings, Kei declares her readiness to return to school. However, the following morning, Kei's former self returns, erasing her recent memories as the price of her recovered past. While at the hospital visiting Kei, Sakuta is overwhelmed with grief and begins to cry, blaming himself for not being able to save her from the loss she recently experienced, which causes his scars to reopen. An older Shoko, whom Sakuta had encountered in his past, tends to his wounds. While Sakuta is bathing, Shoko reads entries from Kade's diary, which she had started writing shortly after her initial memory loss. Kade had anticipated regaining her old memories, and expected Sakuta to react negatively. In an effort to provide him with happy memories once she reverted to her past self, Kade created her list of goals. This revelation further devastates Sakuta. The following day, Sakuta discovers a note left by Shoko before learning that both versions of her have completely disappeared. Ryo suggests that Shoko may have been an illusion created by Sakuta. Mai makes time to visit Sakuta at his home, but becomes furious and storms off upon finding Shoko's note. Sakuta promptly follows her to her filming location, leaving her stunned. During an impromptu date, Mai apologizes for not being there to support him during his crisis, and Sakuta expresses his happiness at having her by his side. In a post-credits scene, Sakuta and Kade pack their belongings at the hospital, and he expresses his gratitude to her. Kade expresses her desire to attend school, now knowing that she is no longer alone.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.